Do you condemn it?
I want to talk about it.
Wait, so when they said gas chambers,
disavow.
when they say gas chambers, you won't. So you're like JD Vance. You just won't condemn this?
Well, I actually had JD on the show today. We had a whole conversation.
You guys can all condemn this, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hold on.
All right.
Hold on.
But
Chris, can you condemn that?
Here's the point, of course. But that's easy.
Colbert and Cuomo, the two of you are no different than the people who praised Hitler and Nazis in the gas chamber. You are no different than Kanye West. You're no different than the people who marched, no, Jews will not replace us. You are no different than the other Nazis that keep marching around and more of the Nazism philosophies being out there. You're no different than them. In fact, you're worse. You know why? Because you are supposed to be an American. You are supposed to be reasonably educated. And what you're supposed to do as an American, yes, the Nazis have freedom of speech in this country. But you know what the responsibility of an American is supposed to be? To get in their goddamn face and tell them that they're subhuman piles of shit. You're supposed to treat them as though they are wrong and treat them as though they are crap. And that is not easy, Cuomo. It is easy to sit back and say, well, they got their First Amendment right to speech, so let's just let them, march with their hateful shit. Let's just let them go out there and praise Hitler and Nazis and wear shirts of 6 million Jews is not enough because that person was pardoned by Donald Trump and the people who wore that, because that's actually was a shirt that was sold online. 6 million Jews was not enough. I'm not a Jew, but I know that Hitler is evil, and the Jews are 1,000,000,000% right. We should never forget what Nazis were. It's why sometimes people might look at Israel and chastise Israel's behavior if Israel starts taking behaviors that make people think that, well, that looks bad. It's calling Jews to their better angels and remembering that we are supposed to remember and teach and not be like the Nazis. But the fact that you, Cuomo, you pile of fucking crap, said it's easy. No! Hard is telling Nazis that they're subhuman shit and confronting them and educating them and stopping them and never trying to understand them like this Cuomo piece of crud. They said I like Hitler, and they talked about the gas chambers and how Jews are bad and all this stuff. Well, maybe we should have a discussion with them. There is no discussion. There isn't. There is no discussion. The only thing those people should be doing, we don't understand them. Americans understood one thing about the Nazis. They had to be stopped. There is one thing, is because of how much evil. It literally reshaped global political history. It created international courts because of that. But since you try to understand them, there isn't an understanding of a Nazi. The only thing you do with a Nazi is you confront them, you face them, and you tell them that they are wrong. And you know what that's going to have you do sometimes? Sometimes those Nazis are going to say horrible things about you. They may even threaten to kill you. They may do terrible things. Because they're Nazis. There is nothing that they do that is decent. There is no decent thought in their head. Except, of course, so long as you're a member of the Nazi Party. You might have them say that they're Christians. No, they are not Christians. As Christians, you're supposed to sit there and tell them, do you have any sense of empathy outside of your ideology? And if they say no, then you tell them, you are in violation of the highest law of Christ. You're going to hell because every single Nazi Christian is in hell because they violated Matthew 22 verses 25 to 40. They violated that sends you to hell. Simple. It doesn't matter if they said the magic words that Jesus Christ is my personal Lord and Savior, because every single Nazi said that. You don't have the capacity to say that. Then there's something wrong with you. If you cannot unequivocally, without the slightest hesitation or concept in your head that says, like, let me listen to you. No, it's fuck you. You're a Nazi. You haven't learned. I'm willing to have this discussion, but I'm only going to have it for so long. And if you have not learned that it's wrong, then there's no reason for me to be standing here talking to you, unless you have learned that you're wrong. I will argue with you. I will never agree with you. If you're going to vote with my party, I'm going to reject your vote. I'm literally going to walk. I will, if necessary, go down to the voter registration center, find out which vote you were, and whoever you voted for, if it's a member of my party, I want to delete that vote. You can vote for the Nazi party. Don't vote for my party. Don't vote for my stuff. I don't want your vote. Put it anywhere else. Vote for anything else. Whatever you vote for, I don't... You might agree with me on one or two things as a Nazi. You might vote, I don't know, to save the kittens. Fine. You know what I'll still do? I'll still try to find out if I can get the voter registration office to put you on a vote for anything else as non or whatever. I don't care, because I don't care. You're a Nazi. Screw you. I don't want your vote. I don't want anything from you. I don't want your volunteer time. I want nothing from you. Zero. And if you show up, I am going to confront you until there is nothing, until I'm going to keep confronting you. I'm going to keep pounding on you. And I'm never going to stop pounding on you, because there is something wrong with you. If you give even the slightest inch to a Nazi, they will take the world, because that's what Hitler did. Hitler, you know how he became friends of Mussolini? He became friends of Mussolini because he knew that his politics couldn't necessarily win votes initially. So he tried an armed revolution because he wanted to do what Mussolini did. That's how the bond between Mussolini and Hitler grew. But Hitler went to prison. Hitler sits in prison and he writes Mein Kampf with his followers. And his followers, they get out there and he runs, but you know what? American dollars loan all this money to Germany to say that after World War I, to prop up its economy, and it's kind of a boom time, right? Then the Great Depression hits, and people think that the Nazis were prophetic, that they knew stuff, and so they rise up and they get like, I think it's like 30-40%. It's like 20, 30, 40% of the vote there, and it's really nice, and they think that they finally have power. You know, Goering gets into an office, he gets to actually have some power, and they start planning their future. But they do that by breaking every single conceivable norm that exists to obtain power. And as soon as they get to power, you know what they do? They destroy all voting, and they have everyone align their allegiance to one man, Adolf Hitler. All law enforcement, all police, and the military stopped their allegiance to the Weimar Republic, to Germany, and put their allegiance to Hitler. We don't do this. We don't learn these lessons. We don't want to learn them because we don't want to honestly look inside of ourselves, and we have lazily allowed the First Amendment to be this amendment where we don't confront truly wrong things. Where, yes, Nazis can march, but they are supposed to be opposed. There is no equal between the people who oppose Nazis and Nazis. People who oppose Nazis are 1,000 times better human beings than those who are praising Nazis. People who treat Nazis like shit are simply better people than Nazis. Because hopefully what they're trying to do is get that Nazi-loving pile of dung to be able to understand why he's wrong. And if you can't do that, then you are no different than the Nazi. Because the Nazi will take the slightest advantage to try to achieve power. And they will do that if it takes 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, the rest of their life. Because they believe that they are completely morally justified in whatever it is that they do. That's the other thing people don't get. The Nazis believed they were the chosen people. So it didn't matter how long it took to gain power. It didn't matter what it took, because the Nazis believed in their highest of truths that they were the chosen people, not the Jews. The Jews were it was the lie. That was the great lie. That humanity in their eyes was living under the lie that Jews were the chosen people. That it really was the Aryans that were the chosen people. And because they were the chosen people, any action that they took to result in their holy mission of eliminating the Jew and replacing it with a German Aryan society, which would have been world peace and, wonders and all this wonderful stuff, it would be like Jesus Christ literally came to earth. That's why they literally believed that Hitler was a saint. That's what the Nazis believed. The Nazis believed Hitler was literally a saint because he was speaking this really powerful thing that Aryans and Germans were the chosen. And that's why they could do whatever they want. And that's why you never give a Nazi an inch. Because you don't know if they believe that.